Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Code 369. We are learning JavaScript algorithms and data structures, and this is a part of full stack development course. And today is class 55. And we are learning JavaScript algorithms and data structures from freecodecamp website, and I have given a link in the description box in order to access this website. This is a self-learning platform and you can learn it by yourself, and self-learning is the best way of learning. So if you are interested, you can learn by yourself. And if you are getting confused in some concepts, you can watch my lectures, okay? And we are seeing basic JavaScript in this course now. So far we have completed this much of exercises. Next what we are going to see is nesting for loops. So what is mean by nesting for loops? For loop will be nested inside another for loop, okay? That means for loop will be inserted inside another for loop, okay? You can see here. Okay, this is a nested for loop. You can see here. Okay, this is a nested for loop. So I think we can take this example and let us explain it. Okay, delete this, get this, copy and paste it. Okay, here you can see the output of 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so let us make it simple. For example, I am going to delete this array. Now you can see the output of 1 2 3 4. Okay, so I am going to explain it to you in a very simple way. For example, here we are having for loop and I is initialized to the value of 0. Okay, so the I will be starting from the value of 0 and I is less than arr dot length. It means what does it mean, I less than arr dot length? It means the last index of the array. Okay, that is what it means. Let me explain it very clearly. For example, in the previous class itself I have told this, but let me explain it now also. For example, I am having an array. Okay, array which is equal to 1 2 3 4. Okay, now how many elements are there? 4 elements are there. So that number of elements is called the length of the array. So length of the array is equal to 4. But what will be the index of the last element? What will be the index of the last element? It will be 3. So why? Because index always starts from 0. So the last element index will be 3. So index of the last element is equal to 3. Okay, so how can we call it? So this 3 is equal to length of the array minus 1. Okay, length of the array minus 1. So this can be called as length of the array minus 1. Okay, you can write like this, or otherwise you can write like this, less than or equal to array dot length minus 1. Okay, arr dot length minus 1. Okay, this is showing some error. So one thing which you have to remember is the index of the last element will be always equal to total length of the array minus 1. Okay, this you can memorize it. Okay, so delete this is showing some error. And here what I have done is I less than or equal to arr dot length minus 1. So this I will be accessing, this I is less than or equal to the last index, okay, the index of the last element. So the I is starting from 0, so it accesses the first element. Up to which element it will be accessing? It will up to the last index of the element, okay, last element, up to last element it will be accessing. So in order to show the index of the last element, we have told here arr dot length minus 1, okay, and I plus plus, the index will be adding by the value of 1, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. But that is okay, that is what we saw in the previous exercises itself, okay. But what is mean by nested for loop? Okay, you are seeing a for loop nested inside another for loop. Okay, you are seeing a for loop inserted inside another for loop. So how it works? So this is same arr of index I dot length. So this also I am changing it to my style, okay. Arr of index I dot length minus 1 less than or equal to, okay. Now you are getting the same output. So okay, initially what is the value of I? 0. So I will be entering this block with the value of 0. Okay. Then what we will be doing is we have inserted another for loop and we have made j equal to 0. Okay, j equal to 0. And what is the upper limit of the j? We have told arr of index I. So what is the value of I? 0. So arr of index 0 dot length minus 1. So what is the arr of index 0? 1 comma 2. Okay. 1 comma 2. So the upper limit of the j will be up to this element's index of the last element, okay. For example, let me repeat the process, okay. For example, actually why do we have to write this for loop, okay? Why do we have to write I and j? First of all, we have to know that, okay. Why we write I? The I is nothing but the index of the array, okay, this whole array. So why do we have to take the index? Just to access the elements in it, okay, just to access the elements in it. So this I is going to be accessing the arrays, okay, nested arrays, the first array and the second array, and j is going to be accessing the elements which is nested inside the subarrays, okay. For example, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So that is the purpose of using j here, nested for loop, okay. With I alone, you can just access the arrays, okay. The first subarray and the second subarray. But only if you use j, you can access the elements nested inside the subarrays, okay. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, you cannot access. And for example, if I is taking the value of 0 and entering the block, it will be accessing the 0th index of the array, okay. So what is the 0th index? This subarray, first subarray, okay. And when the I takes the value of 1, it will be accessing the second array, subarray, okay, second subarray of the array. So it will be accessing this second subarray. But we have to access the elements of the subarray. So how to do it? Now I is taking the value of 0 and it enters. Now j also becomes 0, okay. Now I equal to 0, j equal to 0. So I equal to 0 means the first subarray. and j equal to 0 means the 0th index of the first subarray. Okay, so what is the 0th index of the first subarray? 1. Okay, so let me type it clearly. Okay, you will be easily understanding it. For example, I equal to 0 and j equal to 0. Okay, and that element is 1 because I equal to 0 means this first subarray and j equal to 0 means the first element in the first subarray, that is 1, and I equal to 0 and j equal to 1 means the first subarray and the second element in it. Okay, so it is 2, and I equal to 1 and j equal to 0. Okay, so it means I equal to 1 means what? The second subarray, and j equal to 0 means the first element in the second subarray, and that is 3. And coming to next, I equal to 1 and j equal to 1. Okay, so what does it mean? I equal to 1 means the second subarray and j equal to 1 means the second element in the second subarray, so it is 4. Okay, that is how we are accessing using this for loop. Okay, when the value of I equal to 0 comes in, okay, it will be taking the value of j as 0. Okay, so the upper limit of j will be this. It means the last index of the subarray. Okay, the upper limit just means the last index of the subarray. I mean the index of the last element in the subarray. Okay, it will be tricky, but just see this and analyze what is happening there. Okay, you will be easily understanding it. That's it. Okay, let me delete this. So reset the code here. Modify function multiply all so that it returns the product of all the numbers in the subarrays. Okay, so here there are numbers given, so we are going to use nested for loops. So for let I equal to 0, the index will be starting from 0. Okay, then I plus plus, the index will be added by 1, and the index I will be less than or equal to a arr dot length minus 1. Okay, I have explained this concept previously, so please check it if you do not understand it. Okay, and open this, and inside this we are going to use for loop again, and let j equal to 0 and j is less than arr of index I dot length minus 1. Okay, and j plus plus. So this may be little confusing for you. Okay, for this it means that less than or equal to. Okay, it means that now I will be having the value of 0. Okay, I enters with the value of 0, and here arr of index 0. So what does it mean? The first subarray. Okay, the first subarray. And what is the first subarray length? 2. Okay, what is the subarray? What is the length of the first subarray? 2, and we will be subtracting it with the value of 1. So it will become 1. The answer will become 1. Okay, so the answer of this will become 1. Okay, so j less than or equal to 1. So j less than or equal to 1 means that is the last element's index. Okay, here you can see what is the index of this last element. 1. Okay, the second element will be having the index of 1. So that is what we have written here. Okay, so that's it. And move ahead. So what we have to do here is we product of all the numbers in the subarray. So we have to multiply the product variable with every element of the array. Okay, so we have to access the array using indexes of I and j. Okay, so that it will be accessing every element. So it will be accessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All the elements will be accessed by writing like this. Okay, so it returns the product of all the numbers. So that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to see do while loop. Okay, it may be little tricky, but just understand this. But we are not going to use do while in many areas. Okay, so we will be using only for loop and while, maybe while, but rarely we will be using do while. Okay, so just copy this, paste it. Okay, so the concept behind do while is after the first execution only, after the execution only, the condition will be checked. Okay, for example, here we have declared I equal to 0. Okay, I equal to 0. In for loop and while loop, the condition will be checked by the first itself. Okay, then only the block will be executed. Okay, then only the block will be executed. But in do while, the block will be executed at the first itself. Then only the condition will be checked. Okay, so for the first execution, the condition will not be checked. So how can we say it? So this will be taking the values of I equal to 0 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and also 5. I will be having the values up to 5. Okay, and shall we, yeah, let us see the result here. Let me make it a comment. Console dot log of our array. Okay, and you can see the output of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I mean 5 will not come. So what has happened here is, first I will be taking the value of 0 and 0 will be pushed to the our array. Okay, then the condition is checked and 1 will be coming and 2 will be coming and 3 will be coming and 4 will be coming. Okay, now 4 less than 5, that is true. Then it will be moving to the now carefully listen, 4 less than 5, that is true. So the next execution will be starting here. Okay, so the next execution will be starting and it will be done, and the next the I will be 5. Okay, so I will be 5, 5 less than 5. So 5 less than 5, when it comes, next execution will be stopped. Okay, that's what done here. Okay, So here what you can see here is when I equal to 4, 4 will be pushed to the our array. Okay, then I plus plus will be taking place. So I will be increased by the value of 1 and it will be getting 5. And this condition will be checked whether 5 is less than 5 or not. But it becomes false. So the execution stops here itself. So the 5 will not be added. Okay. But when I am putting like this, for example, I less than 0. Okay, I less than 0. I less than 0. When I am putting I less than 0, here we are having I equal to 0. Okay, I equal to 0 and this 0 will be pushed to the our array. Okay, this 0 will be pushed to the our array and the I value will be increased. Okay, but this condition is not checked here. Okay, that is what you have to learn from do while. The first execution, in the first execution, the condition cannot be checked in the do while. Okay, so 0 is inserted here. Okay, even 0 is not less than 0, the first execution has taken place. Here you can see in the output. Okay, that is what the speciality of do while is. So reset. Change the while loop in the code to do while, so the loop will push only the number 10 to my array and I will be equal to 11 when your code has finished running. So what they have told here is we have to change this to a do while. Okay. So make it a do while. Okay, do and execution block and here while and the condition. Okay. So what they have told is so the loop will push only the number 10 to my array. Okay. So the 10 has to be pushed to the my array. So what we have to do is my array dot push of I, because I 10 is the value which is assigned to I. Okay. So push it. Then what will be happening is I plus plus. So now it becomes 11. Okay. But I will be equal to 11 when your code has finished running. So in 11, when the I is 11, your code should be finished running. So what we have to give here is I less than 11. Okay. I less than 11. So we are receiving I equal to 10 and when I is 10 here, it will be pushed to the my array and it will be increased by the value of 1. Now it becomes 11 and in the while loop it will be checking 11 less than 11. So it becomes false. So the next execution will be stopped. That's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to see recursion and this is recursion. Actually recursion is used for replacing loops. Okay, instead of using loops what we can do is recursion. This saves a lot of code, that is why we are using recursion. Okay, and if you have to know about recursion clearly, you can watch some other video, because recursion is a huge concept and you have to understand it very clearly. So for recursion itself, if I am teaching you, it will be taking for 1 hour. Okay, for at least half an hour. It will be taking half an hour. So it is a time consuming thing. For recursion alone, you just please refer to some other video in the YouTube. Okay, I am sorry to say this, and I can simply say you what recursion is. Okay, so what you have to do with recursion is here in this function, okay, here in this function, we are getting two parameters. One is an array, okay, that is referred to ARR, and another one is index, okay, index of that array. So here what they have told is sum of the first n elements of an array, okay. So n is nothing but it is not index, it is number of elements. So here what they told us to do is, actually this is multiplication, okay, this is multiplication, I'm sorry. So they will be giving an array, okay, they will be giving an array and they will be telling you how many number of elements have to be multiplied. For example, multiply the first two numbers, multiply the first three numbers, multiply the first five numbers, like that, okay. So if n equal to 5, they are telling us to multiply the first 5 elements of the array, okay, that is it. So how to do it with recursion? First of all, you have to use an if statement and that n should be less than or equal to 0, okay. And if it is multiplication, the return value should be 1, and if it is addition, the return value should be 0, okay. That alone you please remember. First of all, you have to use an if statement, and in that condition the n should be less than or equal to 0. If it is multiplication, the return value should be 1, and if it is addition, the return value should be 0, okay. That alone you please remember. And in the else statement, what you have to return is, you have to bring back the function again, okay. You have to bring back the function again. Here they have put the function here and you have to bring the function here again, okay. But only thing which you have to do is, you have to minus the value of n by 1, okay. That is what you have to do. And if it is multiplication, give into, okay, give asterisk symbol and put array of index n minus 1, okay. And if it is addition, give array of index, if it is addition, give plus operator here and give array of index n minus 1, okay, that's it. So much things cannot be said in the recursion concept. Even in this website, it is not clearly mentioned about the recursion, okay, it is not clearly explained. But if you have to know it clearly, spend some time, at least half an hour, and you can easily understand it, okay. Now write a recursive function sum of ARR comma n that returns the sum of the first n elements of an array, okay. So what we have to do here is, we have to write the if else statement, okay. So if n less than or equal to 0, it should be returning 0, okay. So it is addition, so it will be returning 0. And in the else, what we have to do is, give the return statement and take the take the function again here, okay, and give ARR comma n minus 1. The only thing which you have to do here is, you have to subtract the value of n by minus 1, okay, n by 1, and you have to add it with again ARR of index n minus 1, okay. So that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. So I have written the answer here, okay, and let me explain you what is happening here. So what they have said here is, we have an array of objects, okay. For example, you can see there is an array and objects, a lot of objects are there. Okay, so what does the object contain? For example, first name of the person, last name of the person, and the phone number or something, and likes. Okay, what the person likes. So every object has the same properties. Okay, but here what we are doing is we are writing a function that takes name and property prop as arguments. Okay, so here we can see the function takes name and also prop as the arguments. Okay, as the arguments. The function should check if name is an actual contact's first name and the given prop is a property of that contact. Okay, is a property of that contact. For example, actually what they have said here is every person is considered to be a contact. Okay, every person is considered to be a contact. So what they have said here is the function should check if name is an actual contact's first name. So here in this argument they will be giving you a name. Okay, and you should be checking whether that name is available as the first name of any contact. For example, if the argument here is passed as Harry. Okay, if the argument here is passed as Harry, you should be checking whether any contact that person has the first name of Harry. Okay, and here there is no first name as Harry, but here there is first name of Harry. Okay, that is what you have to check. And next what you have to check is, and the given property prop is a property of that contact. Okay, so here you can see likes. Okay, likes, this is a property, and you should be checking whether this Harry, okay, this contact person has the property of likes. Okay, whether he has the property of likes. That's it. So we have to write code for that. Okay, and if name does not, and again what they have said here is if name does not correspond to any contacts, then return the string no such contact. Okay, so none of the contact has the first name which is given here, it should be returning no such contact. Okay, but if prop does not correspond to any valid properties of contact found, then return no such property. But the name which they have given is found in the list. Okay, it is found, but the prop which they have given is not found in that particular contact, we should be returning no such property. Okay, so that is what the code we have to write, and it is very simple. Using for loop we can do it. For example, I have created a for loop and I have given let x equal to 0. The thing which you have to do here is you have to access every object. Okay, every object of that array, first object, second object, third object. So how can we access it? Using index of the array we can access it. For example, if we have to access the first object of the array, we have to use the 0 index. Okay, and if we have to access the second index of the array, second element of the array, we can use index of 1. Okay, so for that we need index. So in order to give the index, we are giving let x equal to 0. It means the first element of the array. Okay, and that index will be extending up to the last element. We have discussed this x less than contacts dot length, all these things. Okay, and it can be written as x less than or equal to contacts dot length minus 1. Okay, that is also correct. So here contacts dot length minus 1 is nothing but the last element, okay, the index of the last element of this array, okay, the index of the last element of that array, okay. And coming inside, if contacts of index x, okay, dot first name equal to name, okay, the name which is given here. So now what we have to do is we have to access the first name. So we have to check the name with the first name of the contact. So we have to access the first name. So how to access the first name? Now what we have to do is contacts of index x. For example, if the x value is 0, it will be accessing the first object of the array, okay. So it will be called as contacts of index 0. Now it will be accessing, it has to be accessing first name. So what we have to give here is contacts of index x dot first name, and we have to check it with the name given here, okay. And if it matches, what we have to check, this property they have given, whether it is available in that contact or not, okay, that is what we have to check. For example, if that property was likes or number, okay, we have to check whether that person is having that property, okay. So here what we have to check is, if this becomes true, if that person is available in the list, if that contact is available in the list, we have to check whether that person or contact is having that property, okay. So we are giving contacts of index x dot has own property of prop, okay. So already we saw this has own property and all these things, okay, it will be very easy for you. And if this also becomes true, okay, if this also becomes true, the value of that property will be returned, okay. The value of that property will be returned. Otherwise, the property is not found. It will be returning that property is not found, okay. And if this whole if block has become false, that means this name is not found as the first name in any of these objects, okay. Then what will be the result? It will be showing you the result of no such contact, okay. It will be showing you the result of no such contact. That's it. Press Ctrl Enter. So generate random fractions with JavaScript, okay. Random numbers are useful for creating random behavior. Now JavaScript has a method called math.random, okay. That is a function or method, math.random, okay, that generates a random decimal number between 0 and 1. Okay, 0 is inclusive but 1 is not inclusive. Okay, when you are using math.random, it will be generating a number randomly, okay, from 0 to 0.99. Okay, can return a 0 but never 1, because yeah, from 0 to 0.99 it will be returning value but never 1, okay, that is what you have to remember. So what they have told us here is we have to use math.random function here, okay. So let us use math.random function, math.random, and let us store it in a variable, okay. For example, I am calling the function here random fraction, okay. I am calling this function and I am storing it in a variable. For example, let x equal to, and I am going to print this console.log of x, and you will be seeing the value of 0.14, okay. And again I am calling it and I am storing it in another variable, okay. and I am printing that value. So you can see 0.64811. Okay, so randomly it will be generating numbers from 0 to 0.99. Okay, that's it. That is the usage of math.random. Press Ctrl Enter. Now what we are going to do is we are going to generate random whole numbers. Okay, not decimal numbers. We are going to generate random whole numbers. So how to do it? First of all, use math.random, okay, in order to generate a random decimal number and multiply that random decimal by 20. Okay, then use another function math.floor to round the number down to its near whole number. Okay, so do it like this. For example, math.floor of math.random into 20. Okay, we will be getting a random number and we will be multiplying it with 20 and we will be making it a whole number using math.floor. Okay, so we should be returning a value like that. Here you can multiply with the value of 20 and we should be using math.floor in order to make it a whole number. Okay, so let us store it in a variable by calling it, okay, whole num, and let us print it console.log of x, and you will be getting the value of 11. Okay, now you are getting whole number. So press Ctrl Enter. So the answer is wrong. Why? Because use this technique to generate and return a random whole number between 0 and 9. Okay, but we are getting the output of 11, I think so. So we should reduce the number here. For example, 16. Now we will be getting the number of 8. Okay, so press Ctrl Enter. So what they tell is we have to multiply the number by 10. So the result is 5. Press Ctrl Enter. So why we are multiplying it by 10? Okay, I am asking you why we have to multiply the number by 10. Because the random number will be between 0, 0 and 0.99. Okay, and when I am multiplying, for example, the random number we have got is 0.99, and when I am multiplying it by 10, okay, what will be the output? 9.9. okay, 9.9. So math.floor of 9.9 is what? So let us see what is the math.floor of 9.9. Okay, so let us delete this and you will be seeing the output of 9. Okay, so that only we are multiplying it with 10. So that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Okay, you can read the statement. Okay, so what they have told here is if you have to generate a random whole number between, I'm sorry, not between, here you can see random whole number that's greater than or equal to min that means the minimum number, and less than or equal to the maximum number. What you have to do is you have to use this formula. Okay, so that is what they have said here. We have to use this formula if we have to get a whole number, random whole number, which should be less than or equal to maximum and greater than or equal to minimum. Okay, so how to do it? So replace the 0 with this formula. Okay, so instead of my max we have to use my max. And instead of min we have to use my min. Okay, here also you have to give my min. Press Ctrl Enter. And now we are going to use parseInt. Okay, this parseInt function parses a string and returns an integer. Okay, here is an example they have given. ParseInt of 0007. Okay, now what it's going to be doing is it will be converting the string of 007 to the integer of 7. Okay, so that is what we are going to do here using the parseInt. For example, use parseInt in the convert to integer function, so it converts the input string str into an integer. So now we are going to convert this argument str into an integer. Okay, so use parseInt of str. Okay, and it should be returned, so use return statement. Press Ctrl Enter. Now what we are going to see is use parseInt function with a radix. Okay, so the concept here is we will be converting the string to an integer, but we will be specifying the string is in which what we can call as system. Okay, whether it is binary or octa or hexa or what. Okay, with which base value. Okay, that is what we are going to specify. The radix variable says that 11 is in the binary system. Okay, so this string is in the binary system, so binary means 2, so that is what they are specifying. So use parseInt in the convert to integer function, so it converts a binary number to an integer. Okay, so we have to use parseInt function here. Okay, parseInt function with the str as input, and we have to give it as a binary, so we are mentioning that str is in binary. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to see ternary operator. Okay, so we can see ternary here. Okay, ternary is nothing but a short way of writing if else. Okay, here you can see if else, and ternary is nothing but a short way of writing if else statement. Okay, so in this we can see this is a ternary, and what happens here is first they will be specifying a condition, and if that condition becomes true, this will be executed. Okay, and if the condition becomes false, this will be executed. So this is called a ternary. So first there will be a condition, and if it is true, this will be executed, and if it is false, this will be executed. That's it. So A greater than B, okay, if A is greater than B is true, this statement will be returned. Okay, A is greater. Otherwise, this statement will be returned. B is greater or equal. Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to use the conditional operator in the check equal function. Okay, to check if two numbers are equal or not. We have to check whether these two numbers A, B are equal or not. Okay. The function should return either the string equal or the string not equal. So we should return whether they are equal or not. Okay. So first of all, what we have to do is we have to give the condition A equal to B. Okay, this is the condition, and we have to give question mark. And if A equal to B, it should be returning a string equal. Okay. Otherwise, it should return a string not equal. Okay, that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to use multiple conditional ternary operators. Okay, like if else if else. Okay, instead of if else if else, we are going to use multiple conditional ternary. For example, this is what they are telling. Okay, multiple conditional ternary operator. So here what will be happening is, if A equal to B, if it is true, this will be executed. Okay. Otherwise, this whole block will be executed. Okay. In this block also they are having a condition. Okay. So if this condition works, this will be executed. Otherwise, this will be executed. Okay. So again I am telling you, if this condition is true, this will be executed. Okay. Otherwise, this whole thing will be executed. Okay. If this whole thing is executed, it will check the condition here. Okay. And if this condition is correct, true, this will be executed. Otherwise, this will be executed. Okay. Let us take it with exercise. You will be easily understanding it. So here they have given an example. Okay. So what they have told here is we should be using this format. Okay. So just copy this whole format and give it here. Okay. Sorry, delete this whole thing, function, and we have to change the format. For example, so first let us be clear of what we should find. So we should find whether number is positive, negative or 0. Okay. So what can be said as positive? Positive means greater than 0. Okay. And a negative means less than 0. And 0 means equal to 0. Okay. 0 means equal to 0. So we have to give condition like this. For example, I am giving num. Okay, num is the argument that we get. Num greater than 0. So if num is greater than 0, we will be returning a string positive. Okay. But if it fails, what will happen? This block will be executed. Okay, and it will move to the second condition here. So I will be checking whether it is negative. For example, num less than 0. Num less than 0. So if this gets true, this thing will be printed. So I will be printing this as negative. Okay. But if this condition false, if this condition gets false, this will be executed. Okay. So which is the remaining thing? Positive, negative, and the remaining thing is 0. So I am giving it as 0. Okay. Just delete all these things. Okay. Press Ctrl Enter. So here also the recursion comes into play. Okay. I already told you, if you have to learn recursion clearly, you have to watch a separate YouTube video and you have to spend a lot of time on recursion. Okay. You have to practice it, then only you can understand it clearly. Here what they have told here is, n will be given, for example 3, 4, 5 or 6 or anything, okay, 7 or 8. What we have to do is we have to store it in the array. Okay, counting up. For example, if 5 is given, we should be inserting, counting up the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that we have to insert it into an array. Okay, but our exercise is, we have defined countdown. Okay, the function should use recursion to return an array. So what they have told here is we should count down now. Okay, so same thing, but we have to change the way we use it. Okay, so change the way we use recursion. For example, first of all we will be using if statement, and then what we will be doing is we will be having else statement. Okay, at last we will be returning that array. Okay, we will be returning that array. So we will be having n as the value, and what they have told here is up to 1 it should be going, so that n should not be less than 1. Okay, so that n should not be less than 1. Okay, but we have to insert an empty array here. So what we have to do is we should give the condition n less than 1. So when it goes to 0, an empty array will be returned here. Okay, so return an empty array. Otherwise what we will be doing is the same like here, but some changes we have to make. For example, we have to create an array. Okay, let's say it as count array itself, and we have to insert the function here countdown, and we have to reduce the value by 1. Okay, and then what we have to do is, here what they have done is they have pushed it. Okay, pushed means the value will be stored at the end. So this is actually counting up. Okay, for example 1 will be inserted first, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. Okay, but in our case we have to count down, so 5 should be inserted at first. So 1 should be inserted at last. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to use unshift, the opposite of push. Okay, so we have to use unshift. Okay, unshift of n. Okay, and finally we have to return that our array. Okay, count array. So this return is not valid. Okay, so delete this. Press Ctrl Enter. Test completed should return. So I have done a mistake here. The mistake is that I have put the function name here, okay, instead of array name. So give count array, press Ctrl Enter. Now again we are going to use recursion, okay. So how to use recursion? Continuing from the previous challenge, we provide you another opportunity to create a recursive function to solve a problem, okay. So what they have given here is they have given a function and with two parameters, for example starting number and the end number, okay. The function should return an array of integers which begins with a number represented by the start num and ends with a number, okay. The starting number so I have added the numbers to the array, okay. I have written the answer here and I am going to be explaining it, okay. So you should be strong in recursion in order to solve these problems, okay. So the same, but what we are going to do is we are going to add the range of numbers, okay, with the starting number and the ending number they have given. So we should be starting with the starting number and we will be inserting all the numbers till the end number, okay. For example, if the start number is 1 and the end number is 8, we will be adding 1 to 8 numbers, okay, in the array. So that is what we are going to do now, okay. So if you have to do it, what you have to do is n number in the if condition, what you have to give is n number equal to start number, okay. So sorry, you can write like this also. It simply means n number is strictly equal to start number, okay. And you have to see this condition also, okay. Your function must use recursion by calling itself and not use loops of any kind. It should also work for cases where both start number and end number of same, okay. So you should read this condition also. So if the end number and the start number both are same, we should return an empty string with start number, okay. And in the else condition, what we have to do is we have to create an array and in that we have to call that function, okay. Call that function and you have to less the number by 1, okay, like what we already did in recursion, okay. So here also you have to do the same, and what you have to do is you have to push the end number, okay. So the range of numbers will be inserted, that's it. So let us create a variable called letResult and call this function range of numbers and the start number is 1 and the end number is 4, okay, and print this console.log of result range of numbers, okay, sorry. Now you will be seeing the output of 1 2 3 4, okay. 1 2 3 4. You can be easily understanding it only if you know about recursion very well, okay, otherwise it will not be easily understood. So that is why I don't stress too much, okay. It will be understood only if you know recursion very well, otherwise it is impossible, okay. So that's it my friends, press Ctrl Enter. And this is 100% over basic JavaScript. So press Ctrl Enter. and it will be moving to ES6, I think so. So just close this and open this. So we have completed basic JavaScript here, okay. You can see 113 of 113. We have completed all the exercises. Okay, we have completed all the exercises. So next what we are going to see is ES6, okay. ES6 is the latest version of JavaScript, okay. Some features are added, advanced features are added in ES6, okay. So JavaScript, so ES6 is an advanced version of JavaScript, okay. Not advanced but latest version of JavaScript. After ES6 also versions have come, but ES6 is very important, okay. So let us see ES6 from the upcoming videos. And thank you for watching my videos, friends. Thank you for supporting me and subscribing me. And please do subscribe. Thank you for watching. Let us see in the upcoming videos. Thank you.